Millions of Americans pass each other on the sidewalks of our cities each day. Few are aware of who the other is, what kind of work he does, what his problems are. For most, things are routine. They take for granted the right to walk that street, protected by a system of laws that guarantees certain freedoms, and that those freedoms won't be taken away without a fair trial, fair treatment, and punishment that fits the crime. This young man is an exception. He was arrested and found out the hard way that the American Constitution doesn't fit inside your passport when you make a mistake overseas. His experiences with the laws of another country are almost beyond comprehension. The retelling of his adventures is just a reminder of what can happen.
Pass me the lampshade, I'm drunk again. Blew my drug money on a quart of gin. Well, I am a cultured man with tastes discriminating, but I'll settle for a tall glass of anything. Fell in love with love and death and darkness. If I'm a bad drunk, well, it's not for lack of practice. This is no modern romance, 'cause I'm going home in a fucking ambulance. Well, am I the only one drinking tonight? The only one drinking tonight. Spring break gone broke, it's sprung. Now I'm the only one.
All right, it's April 5th, 2013. We are at the lovely Jupiter Hotel in Portland, Oregon, possibly my favorite hotel, the Doug Fir Bar. Like I said, old Motor Inn, refurbished. It's fucking beautiful. We taped the DVD last night. I think it went well. I don't know how they're going to edit between the early mumbling pseudo-drunk me and the late-night confident, coked-up and drunk me, but that's their problem. And we're here with Goosekirk. I met probably 90...
Boy, years ago.
Yeah, it was in the 90s, a long fucking time ago. And we did some mushrooms together at Dante's. And the next thing I know, he moved to Colombia, gave up his life, and just embarked on a journey. We were going to go down to visit him. We changed our plans because we had to go to a wedding in Costa Rica. And you went to prison in Brazil.
Ended up in jail.
Wound up in jail. Well, actually, let me preface this. You had a little bit of fame, morning radio fame, years before that, where he made the news because his friends played a practical joke on him.
Right. They covered my entire apartment in foil. Aluminum foil.
Everything. Every piece of change in his change dish.
Toilet paper.
Toothbrushes. Every piece of silverware, every dish, every single thing in his apartment they covered in tin foil.
It was amazing, yeah.
And
5 days they spent.
Yeah. And that made national news, like News of the Weird kind of shit. You had morning radio guys calling you.
World news, yeah, all over the world.
So, yeah, that was his first claim to fame.
Yeah.
Cut to, I'm picturing you on some bamboo raft going down the Amazon with a giant bundle of... Tell us how it started.
How the whole trip started, you mean? No, just
how'd you end up in a Brazilian prison for 4 years?
Well, you know, I moved down there just to kind of change my life up. You know, I was bored at work, sick of America, wanted out. And Colombia is just a beautiful place. It's amazing. And the girls are incredibly hot.
Yeah, now you were posting on my message board from being down there, and you'd occasionally post pictures of whores that you had bedded, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd keep up with your journeys until you disappeared.
On my weird adventures. Yep.
Yeah, you were living like hand to mouth, pesos a day.
Yep.
Just like some teenage backpacker. Only at this point you were 32.
35.
35?
Yeah, 35, 36.
All right.
Yeah, and so at some point, you realize I should be making some money somehow. And in Colombia, you're not going to make much money. It's tough.
So what did you do that was legal before you got into trouble? Did you do anything?
Oh, yeah. I was trying all kinds of things. I tried to start up a company to export bags and jackets and things. Started a magazine. Did all kinds of things. And just nothing ever worked.
What was your magazine?
It was in English, actually. Just a what's going on kind of thing.
All right.
Free magazine.
All right. So you got sick of beans and rice.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, eventually you just realize.
Then you met some smooth-talking Swede at a Hilton bar. I'm guessing. I don't know. I watched Locked Up Abroad too much.
But that's usually how it starts. Yeah.
All right.
Usually you just meet somebody in a bar or a club or something and get to talking.
And you have a few cocktails and go, "What the hell?
Right? Why not?
Yeah. I won't be like those other guys."
What could go wrong?
Yeah. So was this your first smuggling trip that you got busted on?
No, it wasn't actually.
All right.
It's a really interesting world, actually.
I know. I'm waiting for you to tell us about it. So
you
you meet someone, they get you involved. Tell us
Right.
about the first time you went on a run, a mission,
mission.
gauntlet.
It's actually it's surprisingly easy. We figure that roughly about 90% of the trips work, at least. Some guys out there have 100%. They never lose anybody. There's so much of it going on, you can't even imagine.
Okay, so tell us about the first trip.
My first trip,
Yeah.
yeah. I went to down the Amazon.
Get him a shot. What do you want a shot of?
Boy.
We got to loosen his tongue.
Yeah. Okay, I don't do shots, really.
I don't really do shots either.
Yeah.
All right, forget the
Yeah,
shots.
forget the shot.
All right. It seemed funny at the time. Okay, so your first trip, you have to go from where to where?
I went down the Amazon through
From
Brazil.
Colombia?
Yeah. from
Through
Colombia,
Brazil?
Through Brazil and into Europe. Always Europe.
Wait, you actually went all the way to Europe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did the whole, you didn't just pass it off?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's
and all the
great.
way, yeah. And it's, like I said, it's surprisingly easy as long as you kind of know what you're doing.
So is that bamboo raft that I'm picturing, Ricky Tikki Tavi kind of shit? Is that anywhere?
That happens, yeah.
And like some long boat
The Amazon.
with a straw hat?
Yeah. It's actually true, yeah.
And what did you have? We're talking about your first smuggling mission.
Cocaine, yeah.
Coke?
Yeah.
And you brought it to where in Europe? You don't want to say?
In-
You don't have to answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think any of this can get you in trouble now.
I hope not. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's why. But yeah, into Holland, Amsterdam.
All right.
That's usually the place where everything goes.
All right.
Usually, or Spain.
Okay, and so what did you make?
$5,000.
$5,000.
Yeah. Which isn't much, but it's a
For
start.
Colombia.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of standard. Like 1 kilo is like $5,000 for the mule, and then things kind of advanced from there.
All right.
Worked up.
So any close calls?
Oh man, lots. Yeah.
How,
Plenty of times.
Give me some detail. You're going down the Amazon. How long does that take? You're in a non-motorized boat?
No, it's motorized. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but you go down the Amazon. I took like a week or two, just to make it look like I'm a tourist. Right?
All right.
You got to make it look right.
Yeah.
But yeah, close calls. There was one time I was on a train in Europe, and actually I have the stuff on me. Like it's packed in.
Midnight Express, taped
Not-
to your chest?
Not on the body. It's like sewn into my jacket and
All right.
boots and things. And you can smell it. It doesn't smell like cocaine. They put like this anti-dog kind of scent on
Yeah.
it. It's got a very powerful like eucalyptus kind of smell. It just smells weird. It doesn't smell like aftershave exactly, but it's a weird smell.
Did you have to wear fake dreadlocks to pass off the stink? Yeah. A lot of tie-dye.
So what? I was on this train and I had the stuff on me, and the train stops at a border, and they brought dogs on the train, which I wasn't expecting. I thought Europe is all open. You think there's nothing.
Yeah.
No, they brought dogs on the train. So I got off the train to have a smoke, and I'm actually standing with some other guys who are having smokes, and here comes this dog right behind me inside the train, like standing there just looking at me, you know, tongue out. I'm just like, oh, I think I'll stand over here. You know? But no problem.
So how many trips did you make roughly before the fatal?
Several trips, yeah.
All right.
That way. And there were times like where there was one time I got stopped in an airport, and the cops came up to me, asked for my ID. They said, "Can you come with us?" I said, "Sure." Went into the back room, and I had my bag, and I had an external hard drive that was very big. The case was huge. It was heavy. So they were really interested in that. And I'm standing there. I got the stuff on me, right? And they're going through my bag, and like looking at this hard drive, and they're so suspicious of this hard drive. I'm like, okay. And she says, "Oh, can we go through the X-ray again?" And I said, "Sure." And she just passes the hard drive and the bag through the X-ray again, and she says, "Okay, you're okay."
That's
your way.
great. But is it like one of those adrenaline rushes where you're like, "Fuck yes,
Oh
I
man,
won."
yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah.
You won, and that's how it feels.
It's like a
every
Vegas
time.
feeling.
Definitely, it's a Vegas thing.
You forgot your coat.
I'm not gonna lie, it is a lot of fun. It really is. It really, it's great.
Especially when you get that child porn on the hard drive to make side money.
Yeah.
Okay, let's cut to the one that went awry. Where are you?
I
We're
was
in a
actually-
hotel. It's humid. It's like 88 degrees. Your heart's pounding.
I had a flight going from Argentina to Brazil to Portugal to Belgium. Which,
Doesn't look suspicious at all.
yeah, exactly.
No, that's
Exactly.
just Southwest.
Yeah. But this is a terrible flight to have because nobody takes this kind of flight. There's like direct flights from Argentina to Spain or whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody takes Argentina's, but it's a stupid flight. And the guy who was buying the flights, I told him again and again, not Brazil. This is the flight I want.
Yeah.
Get this flight. And he calls me up. "Oh, here's your flights. It's Argentina, Brazil, Portugal." What are you
You're
doing?
like,
That's
Fuck
not
you,
my
Expedia.
flight.
Click.
Yeah. That's not my flight. Try again. The way I told you.
Yeah.
And, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry." And the guy calls me up days later. He says, "Okay, I didn't have enough money to buy a new flight. I just had to change the old one." So
Now, of course,
doing?
at this time, you're not in charge of this, so you kind of have to do whatever the fuck they say. I'm assuming
well, no.
you're
no,
you're free agent.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not
I
some
didn't-
guy that's going to break your legs if it doesn't show up
No,
on time.
God knows, that's
All right.
not. Yeah, but I just didn't have enough money. Really, I just put everything I had into this, and I just didn't have enough cash to buy my own flights.
All right.
So I was dependent on this guy to just do what I told him, and he just didn't.
So you go from Argentina to Brazil.
And I knew it was a bad idea. You get this. You really have your instincts will tell you something's wrong.
Yeah.
And this was my alarm bells were going off even before the flight started. I'm like,
Yeah,
this
and
is
this
the
is not
worst
just the
idea.
alarm bells you get when you're bringing a crazy chick back to the hotel room.
Yeah,
This is
a little bit
all
more
right, I know
serious.
this is going to go poorly, but
This is-
I'll wait till after I come to sort it out.
I actually had this girl I met in Argentina who was telling me, "Oh, of course I couldn't tell her what I was doing, so I just told her, oh, I have to go back to Colombia and do some
You
things."
sell used cars?
Yeah, exactly.
Call back from a story that won't air.
So this girl's telling me, why do you have to leave? Why don't you just stay here with me? I've got this great apartment, and you can stay and live. I'll get you a job, teaching English. I'm just thinking, as I'm walking through the airport going, I should just stay. Just forget this stuff and just stay with this girl or something. And no.
I don't know if it's being picked up, but there's an ominous train sound in the background that kind of gives this a bit of ambiance.
Kind of a hobo vibe.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. So she drops you off at the airport,
Yeah.
and she thinks you're doing what?
I'm just going back to Colombia.
All right.
So I knew it's a terrible idea. This is going to go terribly wrong. But, in my entire life, I've always gotten out of everything. I've never gotten in trouble for anything ever. I've never been arrested. I've never done that.
Yeah.
I've always gotten out of everything. So I'm thinking, this is going to go bad, but somehow it'll work.
Okay.
So when I got to Brazil, the cops are actually
Is
waiting.
it Sao Paulo?
Yeah, Sao Paulo.
Cops are waiting?
The cops are waiting.
Oh.
And I'm thinking I'm just changing planes here. It shouldn't be a problem. I don't think. But no, the cops are there waiting. They're like, oh, yeah.
So do you have the shit on you, or is it in your luggage?
No, baggage, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So they've found it in your bags, or your travel agent tipped them off?
No, it's that route. The cops, they arrested me. They said, didn't you know that that's a drug route? Nobody flies that flight except for drug smugglers. You know, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of had that suspicion. Yeah, I
I can imagine you being very cool with them. Like, all right, you got me.
Yeah, that's what you have to
Yeah.
do. You know, you just the cops
You
always
didn't
want
try that. That's not my bag, or
Oh God, no! It's like, what are you gonna? The guys who try that, and it just never works. It's
yeah.
stupid, really. So I'm just there. The cops are waiting for me. They ask for my ID. I say, sure, here's my passport. And I'm just kind of waiting for the shoe to kind of drop. And they didn't.
Are they
let
cool
me
or are
go.
they pricks?
No, they're cool. They're just
All
like, oh, here's your passport, and are you, where are you going? Blah blah blah. Okay, and then they let me go. So I'm in the airport, just going, this is very ominous, like. They didn't ask anybody else in line for their passports or talk to them. They just talked to me, and I'm like, oh, this isn't going to go well. I spent like an hour or two in the airport, actually. And then finally, they came up to me and said, oh, can you come with us? I said, sure.
Oh, you're just sitting there having a drink, and they go, oh, yeah,
Yep.
we forgot to arrest you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no,
We
by
did the
that,
ID part, we forgot the arresting thing.
yeah, by that point, they had scanned my baggage, and everything, and they determined that, yeah, there's something in there that shouldn't be there. And,
All right.
and-
So they bring you in a back room.
Yep. Kind of did it out in the open as well. The people walking by. Like, oh, hi, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hey, want a bump?
Yeah,
Anyone?
exactly.
Last call.
So
Fire sale.
you get back to the back room, and they have to weigh everything. They have to test it and make sure, Yeah,
They have to test it.
Yeah. We all know what's going
All
on.
night long.
But the cops were actually nice about it. They were cool, and they asked me, to talk and to tell them what happened. I'm like, no, here's me, here's the drugs. What more do you want? Like.
Now, are you freaking out, or are you just like, ah, fuck it, here's another adventure?
Yeah, kind of like, oh, fuck it, here's another adventure. And I still kind of thought this is gonna work out. There's gonna be a way kind of around this, but no,
No.
no.
So they haul you off immediately to where? This is what I hate about Locked Up Abroad. It's all the sweating leading up to. They never show you Locked Up Abroad. They
Yeah.
get to where they get busted, and then they go, oh, they spent 5 years in jail. Tell me about 5 years in jail.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
Midnight Express was. That was the good part.
Yep.
It's only 10 minutes of him taping hash to his chest. The rest is the fun part in jail.
Yeah.
So they take you where?
First, I spent a day in the airport. They have a little holding cell there.
Yeah.
And then they took me to a prison, but like a special holding cell in the prison. And that was actually the worst part.
All right.
Because you're in a tiny little cell with like 6 guys. And there's no air, and it's just awful.
And you don't speak the language. Did you at that point?
I speak Spanish, so it's very close.
They
to
do Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was in this terrible tiny cell for like a week, and you don't leave that little room. It's just nasty.
Was it the America's Best Inn in Bloomington, Indiana?
Almost as bad. Yeah, almost as bad.
bad.
And then from there, because Sao Paulo has this special jail that's foreigners only.
Yeah.
Because Brazil had a problem years past with foreigners being killed.
Oh yeah. Once we heard you were locked up down there, we started Googling, and we're like, oh, he's fucked.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh,
yeah.
he's fucked.
Holy shit. Yeah, so that's how it used to be in Brazil. It was terrible. So the consulates from Europe especially kind of got together and basically kind of forced Brazil to just make a special jail for foreigners only. That's where I went next after like a week in this holding cell. And that special jail, it's built for 800 guys, and
Yeah.
it holds twice that. So there's like 1,600 guys from all over the world, every country you can think of. 80% of those guys are there drugs.
For drugs.
Yeah.
What do the other
Smugglers.
20% do?
Yeah, you got like 15% are just like thieves, like
All right.
just douchebags, like especially in Sao Paulo, you get guys who steal your bags out of the airport. Like there's tons of these guys. I don't know what the hell. But 80%, yeah, drugs.
All right. So this is where you're going to spend the next 3 years and 9 months.
Right.
So you get there. Like when do you go to court?
Oh, in Brazil, that's a big question.
What was your first court date after your arrest?
In every other country in the world, I've learned this. When you get arrested, within like 2 or 3 days, you'll see a judge.
Yeah.
And the judge will determine if they want to go forward with this case, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Brazil, they're supposed to. They just don't. So your court date could be anywhere between 6 months and 2 years the first time you go to court.
Jesus. What was yours?
And mine, I got lucky. Mine was 6 months. Pretty good
All right.
for São Paulo. There's guys who spend 2 years there.
Now, do you just have some flunky deadbeat lawyer guy?
Yeah, court-appointed lawyer.
Did he speak English?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
No. And what was great...
You just drawn symbols in the sand.
Yeah.
He draws a noose. You should have a mic.
It was great. I got to court, and they had a translator there. But the translator was like a deer caught in the headlights. The guy had obviously taken some English classes at one point, and really couldn't speak English really. And I loved it. I thought this is perfect. Great. I don't want to ask questions. Don't ask me anything. It's better. I just don't want to speak really. So the judge would ask questions, and by that point, 6 months in the jail, I already pretty much understood Portuguese. I knew what she was saying.
Right.
So the judge would ask questions. The translator would try to translate it, and I would speak back. And I would try to speak slowly at first and carefully, but then I realized he couldn't speak English. So I'm just speaking quickly. I don't care. And the guy would just look at me, just frozen. And the judge got so angry.
At the translator?
At the translator, yeah. At one point, she asked a question. The translator translated it pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it right. And the judge, she spoke a little bit of English, and she thought she spoke English pretty well, apparently.
Better than she did?
Yeah. So the translator translates a question. The judge goes, "No, that's not what I said. You need to be exactly, translating perfectly. This is a court of law. We need to do this correctly, blah, blah, blah. Say it right." And the guy's looking at her like, And he says the same thing to me, but just changes a few words around. The judge goes, "Okay, that's better."
So you're pleading guilty.
Oh yeah, you have to. In Brazil, you have to plead guilty. Nobody gets off. You plead not guilty, they fuck you.
Right.
Even if you're innocent, they don't care. They just screw you.
And they don't have a fondness for Americans.
Not really. No, they really don't.
Because when I was trying to book, we did book a flight down to go see you.
We booked it,
and then we realized, oh shit, you probably need a visa.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get a visa, and that's a big pain in the ass. You have to go to an embassy or some shit. That's 4 hours away. Fuck Goosekirk. We'll see him when he gets home. Unfortunately, I realized in time to cancel the tickets. But, we were looking forward to it. But they said it's because we fuck with them when they're trying to visit the U.S. so bad that it's just basically a big fuck you to us, which I understand.
Yep.
So, all right, so you get into jail. What's the name of the prison that you're in?
Itaí.
Itaí.
That's the name of the town, actually. The prison has some long, idiotic name.
Yeah, I remember looking it up, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
Yeah.
But so you get in there, and you're put in a cell. Do you have cellmates? Cellmate?
Yeah. What they do is, when you get into the prison, they put you into what's called inclusion first, which is a kind of a special cells. They have 3 of these cells that are kind of big and really just empty. And they put you there for a week or 2 just to kind of make sure you're okay. You're not
gonna
crazy
hang yourself.
You're not gonna, just to see how you are and kind of get you used to the environment. And after that, then they move you into the normal cells.
All right. And that's where you met Morgan Freeman and started planning your escape.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, that's Shawshank Redemption. All right, so after you get picked last for kickball, where do they put you?
Yeah.
Who's your cellmate?
What's funny is that when I was in the first jail, in the Brazilian jail, people are talking like, "Oh, you going to the special foreigners jail? It's great. It's much better than this place. They've got a football field.
You get stabbed way less in that one.
Yeah, they got a library and there's a pool or something. It's great. And so I got to the inclusion cell in there, and that's just it's just terrible. It's just nasty, dirty. There's nothing in there. It's just empty concrete.
Shit in a hole.
Yeah, you shit in a hole.
Oh.
Yeah, there's not even a toilet. It's
Yeah,
just
that's why I don't even travel. Not much less prison. Like just any country. I was up to do this thing for PBS, talking to comedians in India and Nigeria, and then we watched out An Idiot Abroad, and he's having his shit in holes, and I'm like, no fucking way am I shit squatting over a hole. But you had no choice. Toilet paper. Like, these are the first things that come to my mind. Of course, you go over, hey, did you get raped? Is, of course, your first question, and we'll get to that one. But the horror would be no toilet paper.
No toilet paper, yeah. But inside the prison, the prison doesn't really have much rules. But the prisoners themselves have kind of an extensive list of rules that you have to follow. It's kind of a prison culture.
All right.
So one of the most important rules, what you learn is, if you shit, you got to shower.
All right.
Immediately, if you take a shit, you go shower.
All right.
Done.
Well, that's good. At least you have a shower. That would,
Yeah.
Just the thought of sitting around with a fucking nasty, shit-riddled ass on top of being in prison.
Yep.
Did someone have to tell you that?
Yeah. People they sit you down. No, you got to do this. You got to do this.
You're sitting down on the bench and leaving big brown football stains, and they're like, "Don't you know? Don't you know there's a shower that's free?" Animal. We only have 2 mics, so when Andy and Chaley chime in with their funny, I'm just repeating it.
Yeah,
You're saying?
So the showers are freezing ass cold, and Sao Paulo gets freezing as well. It's very cold there, so it's not like a nice warm shower after it's just still.
You just spread your cheeks
tough,
and bend into it and hope the water doesn't hit the rest of your body.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about the cold shower, it reduces your obvious erection as you walk around the yard.
That's right.
Open air showers?
No, actually, inside the cells, each cell was built for 6 guys. So you've got 6 bunks. You've got some shelves, and in the back you've got a shower and toilet, like an actual toilet.
All right, it's all in your cell.
Yeah.
So if it's built for 6 guys, does that mean there's 12 in there because they're double capacity?
Sometimes there were 12. Yeah.
All right, so when you had to sleep with Andy last night, it was no big deal.
Yeah, I'm used to that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you walk in the cell the first day. Who do you look at?
No, actually, I walked into the cell block first. They
Yeah.
put you in the block, which is the cell block is this kind of U-shaped, 2-story, like kind of open air kind of thing. It looks like an apocalyptic Motel 6.
All right.
It's just concrete walls. Just looks like terrible. There's like laundry hanging. It's all concrete and dirty. It's like, oh, gee. And
I'm picturing you walking in there in that jacket with 2 bags, like like some wayward traveler.
Where's my room? Yeah. So I just walk in. I'm like, oh, this is not what. There's no library here. There's no pool. Like, what is this? There's no football field. I was lied to. And a guy walks up to me.
I'm giving you 1 star on Yelp.
Yeah. So a guy walks up to me and he goes, "Oh, you must be the American. This word travels fast. You know,
All right.
in the prison, you got nothing else to do but stand around and gossip and hear what's going on. So everybody knows everything.
All right, so you're the American.
So I show up and everybody knows who I am already. Like, you're the American, And this guy walks up and he's American as well. And he says, "Don't worry about a thing. This cell block is really cool. Nothing happens here. It's all quiet. You have no problems here. I'll help you out with anything you need. Let me know. And don't worry. Everything's fine here." And then I'm like, okay, great. I feel better. And then that night they had a riot.
Over?
They just had a riot about one of the guards was being a prick. And
right.
they took some guys to Castigo, which is the solitary block.
All right.
And they shouldn't have
So
done
what's a riot entail?
But-
Burning rolls of toilet paper? Are there stabbings?
here's-
Are there
yeah.
mattresses
Well, here's the thing.
pressed up against the bars and
I didn't know.
carving snitch into someone's head
Yeah. Right.
in 3 different languages?
Here's the great part. I didn't know anything was going on until, they open the cell doors like in the morning and the afternoon, and they lock the cell doors at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you're locked in all night. And I didn't know anything was going on, and then like about 6 o'clock in the evening, everybody's locked inside their cells, and they just start this riot inside the cells. Like they're just pounding on the doors and hammering on the doors. They're burning things and throwing them out.
And this is your first night, and
Yeah.
so you're in a room with 5 other guys, I'm assuming?
We had 8 guys. In the
8
cell.
guys
Yeah.
in 6 beds.
Yeah.
So you had to buddy up?
Sleep on the floor.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But I'm just like, there's this riot happening. And I'm like, oh, this is great. This is my first night in prison. Like, yeah, there should be a riot. But then I'm realizing everybody's locked in their cells. This isn't fun at all. Like, what's the point of this? And at one point, I went and banged on the door as well. And I yelled, Attica, Attica.
Did
You know, yeah. Then I realized nobody in this
Gets
prison
the
knows.
joke? Oh, that would be the second worst to no toilet paper is no one getting the
No one
reference.
gets it. Yeah.
Like, come on, Attica. Anyone?
Anyone?
Thought that's
Give it up.
universal.
Yeah, no.
So who were the people that you're immediately celled up with?
So
Anyone that speaks English?
Yeah, actually, most guys spoke English. In fact, the majority of the guys in the jail, like the largest numbers of the guys in jail, were from Africa. Nigerians especially,
All right.
number one. They all speak English.
Good.
Yeah.
They all belong in fucking jail.
Yeah.
Goddamn spammers. Hang them all. So did you make a friend?
Yeah, so in my cell, anyway, I had a guy from England, very, very cool guy. Guys from Africa, guys from South America. Nice mix.
If I'm all over the map, that's just how my head works. But do you keep in touch with anyone? Like, is there anyone now that you get out, you're like, fuck all you?
Yeah, there's a few guys I'm still in touch with.
All right.
Oddly enough, the guys that...
You're not like me where you're like, oh, Goosekirk's in prison. I should write him. 5 years later, oh, here he is. Yeah. I was gonna. Okay, so back to the riot. Riot subsides at some point.
Yeah, riot subsides. They cut off the water and the power, just to keep everybody calm. And yeah, I was let down again. I'm like, that's not even a good riot, come on.
All right, so you settle in.
Settle in. I changed cells after a week or so because the American guy said, hey, you should come to my cell. It's great. And I realized that
And they have the power to just do that?
Yeah.
You just trade players, just like Major League Baseball?
Yeah, and it's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big thing, And again, the prison rules are very strict. So, like, you have to wait to have a bed. If you're new, you come in, you're on the floor. And then you go, like, in order. When the guys leave, then you get the bed,
All right.
And there's no bullying. There's no option. You can buy a bed, if you're quiet about it, but
All right.
it's very strict. So when you want to change cells, it's politics. You got to calculate, okay, am I in the bed? Do I change bed for bed? It's yeah. It's very complicated.
All right, so now you're with the American.
So I'm with the American guy. The American
Is he still
guy-
there?
No, he was a Lebanese American.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm in the cell with 4 other guys.
All right, where is he now? You just, when I said, is he still there, you had a look on your face like he's dead.
No, he's
I thought
fine.
I
he's,
hit gold on this.
No, he's doing very well, actually.
All right, he's back in the States or in
Middle
Lebanon?
East, yeah. He's in
Oh,
the
he's,
Middle
all
East.
right. In for drugs?
Oh, yeah.
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 All right.
Everybody is there, yeah. You just assume that. The guys who are thieves, you don't even talk to. They just say to themselves. So, new guy comes in, it's like you ask him, oh, how much did you have? That's
How much did you
Yeah,
have?
that's it.
I forgot to ask. How much did you? How much coke did you
Oh,
have?
that's an interesting thing. That's in Brazil, at least. I'm sure this happens everywhere in the world, but in Brazil, it's a fact. That's when you get arrested for drugs. If you have, let's say, 5 kilos of cocaine, when you go to court, you'll have half that.
All right.
On your paperwork, it'll say, "I know I had 5," but you go to court, you had 3.5. And
right.
the cops just take
Yeah.
some for them and they sell it. And
Sure.
I'm not going to complain. It looks
Right.
better for me, and it's win-win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy.
So you had 5 kilos?
Yeah,
All right.
3.5.
3.5. Okay, so how do you spend 3.5 years there? What do you do? Do you smoke cigarettes?
A lot.
That would
Yeah,
be my
everybody
third
smokes.
thing.
Yeah. Everybody smokes.
Do you have money?
No. In fact, Brazil is terrible like this. Brazil, when they put you in prison, they give you this kind of ratty, like foam mattress. It's just like a thin foam pad, and that's it. That's what you got. They'll give you like a pair of pants, maybe. let you keep some of your clothes if it's not, the real rules they have. That's all they got. So you don't have sheets.
So
you
how
don't
do
have
you
blankets.
get cigarettes?
Cigarettes, again, a problem. Brazil has a law where if you work in the jail, you get paid minimum wage,
All right.
which is like $300 a month.
All right.
But in our jail, because
more than Bingo makes.
yeah, but in our jail, because we're foreigners, they just would fuck us. So we got paid like $20 a month
Oh shit.
because we're foreigners. Hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Who are you gonna
Who you
call?
gonna complain to? Yeah.
What
And
was your job?
Baker.
Oh,
Made the bread, so it was great. I got extra bread.
There you go.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, it's tough to get money. You gotta you gotta get a sheets and a blanket first of all because it's cold.
okay.
Sleep on the
So
floor.
that costs you money.
No, guys will help you out.
All right.
They'll help you out. They got an extra blanket here. Take this. But yeah, to get you have to buy everything. You got to buy your own soap, your own toothpaste, and razors.
Now, is anyone sending you money?
Yeah,
All right.
family and friends helped out. Yeah,
Okay.
send me money. So I
And
was
you
okay.
get it.
Yeah,
That would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not easy to do it.
Who do you call first when you
Oh,
get
man.
busted?
Let me tell you,
What's
this-
the first phone call you make?
This, the when I got arrested, I was in the first jail. The consulate came, the American consulate. You're in this prison with guys from all over the world. They look at you as American, and there's only like 5 of us in the whole jail. Like,
Yeah.
And so everybody goes, "Oh, America! Wow, the superpower, the richest country in the world." When the consulates come to visit the guys, they always bring stuff. They bring you like shirts, T-shirts, or soap and things that you need.
All sponsored. Here's a Jägermeister coffee mug.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, there's some Delta blankets.
So the consulates will come and they'll bring things. European will give their guys money, like Spain and Holland. These countries will actually give the guys money and help them out. And
So the U.S. guy comes to
So,
you
wait-
when you first get arrested.
so everybody says, "Oh, America, the richest country in the world. They must like hire a lawyer for you. They're going to do everything for you. You're going to get out of here quick. You're America." Oh,
Yeah.
My consulate came. Our consulate, I should say.
What's his name?
They change all the time.
Oh, yeah.
actually,
You don't
so-
remember him?
yeah,
We can't
some-
just make a prick out of him?
Some douche. I don't know.
Yeah,
He-
some douche.
So the consulate comes. He doesn't have anything. What the consulate does is they bring our guys. I swear to God, this is true. They bring our guys soap and shampoo that they steal out of hotels. That's what they bring us.
I wasn't very far off.
Yeah, exactly. Bolivia, like the poorest country in South America, they bring their guys blankets and shirts and whatever they need. Help them. America brings.
Yeah, here's a Marriott
little-
terry cloth bathrobe.
Oh man, not even a bathroom. It's just soap and shampoo. And I'm bald. I don't even need shampoo.
You can use it for lube.
Yeah, no. And the other thing they would do is that the Marines at the consulate would, or the other people who worked at the consulate would donate things for us, a little bit of food or candy bar or something. Sometimes, somebody donated half a jar of Vaseline. Used jar of Vaseline.
Got some mileage out of that,
So,
didn't
no,
you?
actually, because
What I'd do is I'd lube my whole ass crack just so when I shit in a hole, most of it would run right off.
and when the consulates bring things, it has to be checked by a guard. Right?
All right.
And so I go to pick up my bag of soap and shampoo from the consulate, and there's this jar of Vaseline, and the guard looks at me like, "What the hell?" And
I didn't order it.
I'm like, I don't know. It's my guy. And he opens it up. He's like, "This is used Vaseline." I'm like, "Look, America, I don't know. I can't explain."
Hey, it works different in our prison system.
And, yeah. And then the guard says, "Oh, this isn't allowed. You can't have this." And it's used. That's just weird. I know.
So your first phone call.
Right. So, what I did, the consulate came and they said, "Do you want us to contact anybody?" And I said, "Yeah. I want you to email one of my friends, give him this information to contact this person, this person, this person." Great. And then they said, "Okay, well, no problem." they said, "Do you want us to call anybody?" I said, "No, I don't want you to call anybody because you guys are kind of dicks. And, I don't want you.
You didn't say
talking.
that.
Yeah, no, yeah." I said, "What I could use though, I don't have any money. I just know I don't want to ask people for things. Yeah, it's not really cool. But you're my consulate. I paid my taxes. Not recently, but I have.
Not on
know.
that cocaine
Yeah,
smuggling
not on
thing,
that,
but otherwise,
I have.
yeah.
All I could, I don't want you to contact people. I want to contact my family.
Did you have to file taxes for your bakery income?
Yeah, I think I do actually. I have to work that out still. So I said, no, I want to contact them. Can you just help me out with a couple stamps and envelopes or something? And the consulate said, no, we don't have the budget for that.
budget for
that.
stamps.
A couple stamps to mail my family. It's really, you've got like 22 aircraft carriers, you don't have a budget for a couple stamps.
Right.
For a guy
Well,
who's in
that's
jail.
how they afford the fucking aircraft carriers.
Yeah, okay.
Like, fuck the stamp guys.
So every time the consulate would come, I'd go back into the cell block. People would ask me, "Oh, what'd you get? What'd the consulate bring you? What'd they do for you in America?"
All right, I'm still waiting for the first phone call.
Oh, yeah,
I want to
so-
hear the tears in your mother's voice
No,
when
I
you
didn't- I-
finally pick up that phone out of the cradle.
There's no phones.
You never
There's
talked.
no phones.
There's no phones?
No, there's no phones.
Barbarians.
Yeah. Really, but that's a big problem.
All right, so did you get a visit?
I did eventually. I had a friend of mine who lived in San Paulo. She came to see me in the jail.
But no one came, like no family?
No, and I told him not to.
All right.
It's really hard to get out. It's just a pain in
Yeah.
the ass, and there's no reason to.
Yeah.
It's-
Plus, they'd have to sleep on the floor because they're new.
Right, exactly.
Sorry, Ma, it's politics.
But the weird thing is, when you get a visit there, the visitor actually comes into your cell. They come into the jail. They spend a whole day there in the jail.
That's great. Yeah, we went to an Icelandic, the only prison in Iceland, and we're hanging out in their dorms, and they got full internet, and they're
I've heard this, yeah.
Oh, it's fucking great.
I was in a cell with a guy from Iceland.
Oh, yeah?
Actually. Yeah, he said, the prison in Iceland's like a hotel.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hron. I can't fucking pronounce
Oh, God,
it.
yeah, it's
I can spell it.
unpronounceable.
I can't pronounce it. But yeah, that's. But so your first visitor was a chick
Yeah.
from Sao Paulo, or
She's
you're saying
American.
San Paulo? Is
San
that it?
Paulo, yeah.
Or that's how you
It's
pronounce
kind of
it.
with an N, yeah.
No, it's got a fucking O.
Yeah, but
These
Brazil.
people imprisoned you,
You're-
man. Don't go with the this O is pronounced N bullshit.
Sao Paulo, yeah.
Yeah.
There we
Okay.
go.
So the chick shows up, and you're trying to get fucking 6 guys to roll over the other way.
No, that's a big rule in the prison is when the visitor comes, you don't even look at them. You stay away. You get out of the cell. You make sure everything's cleaned up.
Oh, the other guys.
Yeah, the other guys,
I thought
yeah.
you couldn't look at your own visitor.
No,
that
your
would be
vis-
weird.
yeah.
Ass to ass. Ass to ass.
But it's a big rule. Big respect for any woman who comes in that prison
Right.
and visits you.
It sounds like it's run pretty well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Self-rule.
Self-rule, that anarchy kind of thing. You see people kind of pull together and
So when she shows up,
Self-organized.
she says, "How is it? How are you holding up? Are you okay? How long before you stop the chit-chat and you fuck her?" Like, yeah,
Actually-
everything's fine. The food's good. Okay, just bend up. Pull
well,
up your skirt. No, I'm good. Yeah, no, I got a toothbrush. Yeah, my teeth are holding up. Everything. Bend over.
well, here's an interesting thing is that after you do 2/5 of your time, you can apply to get moved to half-open jail, which is what I did. And the half-open jail is a place. It's like a barracks. It's a little bunker that's built next to the prison,
All right.
outside the walls, and you're supposed to go out and work in the community every day, but they don't actually do that in Brazil. So that's where I went after that.
Now you have to be thinking escape every day that you're in the half-open jail.
Oh
right?
man, that's what everybody did. Yeah, they actually before I
That
got
would be
there.
the fun part, just plotting escapes.
Oh,
How
man,
can we do
it's-
that?
Yeah, it's in the half-open jail. They didn't used to even have a fence. You could just walk away, and no problem. Everybody was doing that. So finally, they put up a fence, barbed wire across the top of it, and people would jump that fence all the time and run away. But the problem is, you're in this little small town, Itaí, which is a farming town.
Yeah.
You're like 200 miles away from anything.
You're white,
Yeah, you're white. You have no money. What do you?
torn
no ID.
cotton pants.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You have to organize something.
Okay, so if you get caught escaping, they shoot you.
You go back. They don't shoot you actually. The guards have guns, but they don't use them.
Right.
They don't. Shoot
They don't
you.
bring you out in the yard and execute you
No.
on your knees in front of the other.
No, in fact, the guards encourage you to escape. You know, it's so overcrowded.
What are you doing here? Get the fuck
Get
out
of here, will you? There was one guy who actually ran for it, climbed the fence and ran for it, and a guard was walking by, and he tripped and fell, and the guard kind of kicked him, get out of here, keep moving,
Shoved him.
run for it.
That's kind of great.
Yeah.
Andy says Shawshank push start. We should have had more mics for this.
I just imagine the guard fumbling for his Barney Fife 1 bullet issued and you know what? I don't even know how to load the gun anyway. Just go.
Just go. Get it.
All right, so I wouldn't I'd be sitting there most of the time trying to figure out what 2/5 is because I don't do math well.
Yeah.
But so you're there, you get in a half-open housing.
Yeah, and that's when my girl came to
All right.
to visit. So it's
So
kind
you
of a
fuck
barracks
her over
thing.
the barbed wire.
Yeah, that's a barracks kind of thing.
All
And
right.
you can kind of close a curtain, but it's still all open. It's not a good place for being
Yeah.
romantic. it's just not the
You
right
go,
place.
baby, I just showered. That means you just shit. I'm not interested. And that was your only visit?
Yeah, that's the only
In
visit.
three, almost 4 years.
Yep.
All right.
But she came in, and the first thing she said was, "Wow, it's so clean." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a big thing in the prison. You got to keep shit clean. You know, it's every day you're cleaning stuff."
Okay, so now are you in and out of court this whole time, or have you been sentenced
No.
to a certain amount of time and that's it?
That's it.
Well, and your sentence was?
Was 5 years, 10 months.
All right.
And everybody appeals. It's just standard. So I appealed, and my sentence actually went up to 6 years, 2 months, which didn't matter because I was already in the half open. And then I appealed again, and that appeal is still outstanding. Still waiting for the results.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it should go down. It
Now,
should go, so
you're making this very happy, but tell us what sucked. What's your lowest point?
oh man, the lowest point. This is
Were
easy.
you closer to killing yourself or escaping?
You know, the lowest point by far. There was a guy who, when I went in my first cell, everybody's cool in my cell. Everybody's great, relaxed. There's one guy, this fat Bolivian fuck. By nature, he's a bully, but he's
Yeah.
got this high-pitched voice. He's just kind of fat and sloppy. He's just a jerk off.
High pitch Eric.
Yeah, he whines, and he's just a crybaby, just a piece of shit, this guy. And I hated him immediately. When it came to, oh, everybody's cool but that guy. And I actually sat him down. I said, look, you and I are going to have problems. Told him in Spanish. I mean, look,
For the listener, Goosekirk is not a very intimidating guy.
no, I'm a nerd. You know, I'm an IT guy. I'm a computer nerd. That's what so skinny, I'm scrawny.
If I had a name for this podcast, I'd say go to thatpodcast.com and look at pictures of Goosekirk, but I don't even have a fucking title for this stupid thing. Go ahead. So you sat the Bolivian down.
So I sat him down. I said, look,
Do you remember his name?
Yeah, Eduardo.
You never
Eduardo.
forget a
Yeah,
douchebag's
you
name.
never forget this guy. So I sat
Forget
Eduardo
your first
down.
love before you forget a douchebag.
Especially this guy. I sat him down and said, look, you and I are going to have problems. Let's try to resolve this right now before it starts, because I'm going to yell at you. At some point, I can already see I'm going to yell at you, and just try not to take it seriously. Let's just try to be cool. And he said all the right things. Yeah, we have to respect each other, blah, blah, blah. It's great. And 2 days later,
So even the douchebags talk out their problems? Is there any violence
Oh, yeah.
in this place?
there's a little bit, and it does happen, but very rare.
All right. So you didn't get into any fights?
I
You
wasn't
didn't
in
get
fights.
raped?
No rapes. No.
Impromptu soccer against the guards?
So
You're really good at this game, Goosekirk. We want you to take a dive.
I sat him down. I said, "You don't got any problem." 2 days later, he was crying about something stupid, and I was like, "You know what? Shut up. You're just crying. And just knock it off." And
Was this prison or meatballs?
Yeah, really. And we would talk about that. We'd say, "This isn't a prison. This is a girls' school. These people crying and bitching. Oh, there's no violence. What is this? You know, there's no crying in prison." So Anyway, so like a year later, I changed cells, and I changed cells to this really great cell. All my friends are in this cell. Everybody reads. There's tons of books. It's great. Except Eduardo's in that cell. And Eduardo's like the only person like voted against me coming in the cell. You have to. Everybody has to vote, and it has to be unanimous.
Democracy now.
Yeah. And Eduardo's the only person who voted against me coming in the cell, but everybody looked at him and said, you know, Eduardo, we've kicked you out of the cell twice because you're a douche, and we felt bad for you because nobody else would take you in their cell, so we let you stay. So your vote doesn't count. Shut up. You know.
How many people are in the barracks now? Like how many people are
well, this is in the main jail I'm talking about.
Oh, this is the main jail.
Yeah,
okay. Sorry.
So I'm in the cell with Eduardo, and Eduardo is great because he's terrified of me. It's awesome. Like, he won't, like, if I'm standing in the cell and I'm in the way, he won't
I
even.
guess you could be terrifying in a Nosferatu kind of way.
Maybe, yeah.
Like if I woke up and you were looming over my bed, backlit.
That's all I got. Yeah, I just,
Hands.
middle of the night. But he's genuinely terrified of me. He won't say boo to me, and it's great. If I'm standing in the way, he won't even ask me to move. He'll just like, stand there and wait for me to move on my own. It's just fantastic. And the guy's such a douche. And one night, 10 guys in the cell.
All right.
Okay. People are gonna jerk off. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Of course. But I sleep with earplugs every night. I put the earplugs in. I block everything out.
And your eye mask.
Yeah.
Your nightcap.
Yep.
Aromatherapy candle, says Greg Chaley.
If I could have, I would have got those. Yeah.
Do you have a clapper light? You got a good one, Andy. Just grab the mic and then put it back. Sit over here.
So I got the earplugs in. One night, I wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know, who knows what time it is. There's no clocks. I wake up, and my ear is kind of hurting me, so I take out the earplugs. And when I take out the earplugs, I can hear across from me on the opposite bed, Eduardo's jerking off. I'm like, oh, this is the lowest point of my life. This is, god damn. I gotta. So I go to put the earplugs back in, and then I realize, no, he's finishing. So I just leave that. Yeah. So my life sucks. So
that was your lowest moment.
No. Wait,
4 years in a third world prison.
Wait, this gets better. Wait.
Okay.
So he's finishing great. I'll just try to block this out. And then I hear this noise that I can't say what it was. I don't know what it was, but I hear this wet lip smacking kind of sound. Like Eduardo's eating something.
He's not sucking his own dick if he's fat.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh God, what has my life come to? I'm listening to Eduardo eat his own jizz. You know, what is my?
I think they call that a prison power boost.
That's the protein shake.
It's a 5-hour energy.
And so the next day, I had to tell one of the guys. I had to tell somebody, like, if I had to hear this, you got to hear this. You know, like, and I'm telling this guy, and Eduardo comes walking by us. And the guy looks over at Eduardo and goes, yeah, well, nothing goes to waste with that guy. And then a few weeks later, Eduardo's complaining he's got a sore throat. Go figure, right? So he's complaining he's got a sore throat. And one of the guys...
You gave yourself HPV in your own throat.
Eduardo...
Hang on one second. We just had an interloper that looked... was that... what's that guy's name with the fucking... did the fake documentary about himself? That horrible actor with the cleft palate. He looked like that guy. Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, if I could have had the reference, I'd have had a great joke right there. What did Joaquin Phoenix want, I would have said, and everyone would have laughed, but I didn't know his name.
He just wanted to know if this was live.
Oh, he's going to go tune in on his AM radio? He's been sitting out there in the fucking... Anyway, all right. Let's okay, so let's get to the end of prison, unless you have some other fucking great stories of shit that happened.
What I love with that... No rape. There's
no rape.
There's no rape.
Hold on a second. Joaquin Phoenix wanted to find out if it was live. He was watching it.
I know.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's live for you.
Why would he go sit in his car and listen?
It's too live.
No, but the end of that Eduardo story is that he's complaining he's got a sore throat, and one of the guys in the cell says, "Oh, hey, Eduardo, I've got some special cream for that. Just come in the bathroom with me. I'll give it to you." Just as a joke, you know. And Eduardo says, "No, thanks. I've got my own cream." I'm like, yes, you do.
Suicides?
There was,
Dead people?
I think there was one guy who killed himself, actually.
But just through the grapevine.
Polish guy. He was in some other
There was
cell
no
block.
love scene with John Hurt.
Oh, man.
All my Midnight Express references are going nowhere, too.
Yeah. There was no rape. The guys were actually very anti-gay in that. There were 3 cells or 2 cells in this other block that were especially gay. If you're gay, you have to go in these cells. And even the food that comes in these plastic tubs, and the gay people have their own tubs, like marked with like a pink string. You know, like they won't even share their food. You know, the pink. You know, they're just scared of AIDS. You know, the gay people will give them AIDS.
All right, so when do you find out you're getting out?
Brazil, you never know.
Well, when did you know?
know?
Like one day they're like, pack your shit, you're out of here?
That's what happens, yeah. Technically, I was eligible to leave in January last year. I left in November. That's how long it just takes. You just randomly, they just pick just a name out of a hat. Like, you go now.
Wait, you were set to leave in January.
Right.
But you were sentenced to 6 years.
Well, you do 2/5, and then you do what's this time.
All
and
right,
then you
so
get out, blah blah blah.
okay, with good behavior, all that
Yeah,
shit, or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So you were supposed to be out in January,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Can I
And-
go?" No.
and-
The next day, can I go?
Yeah, exactly.
For
That's
10 months.
Yeah, for 10 months.
All right.
Every day, I think I could go today.
All right.
And that's what everybody thinks. You
So
never
the
know.
day that
So-
you do leave,
So the day,
what are you doing?
The day I was at work, I was making bags, shopping bags, like these.
The kind you were going
job.
to export before you got into
Yeah,
this
kind of
whole
like
shit.
that. Yeah, I was like, oh Jesus, really bags, So
All right.
I was making bags, and the guard called me over. He says, "You have to go back into the barracks there." And I said, "Really? Like, you're fucking with me, like, because there's no reason to get called back to the barracks out of work, like, unless you're going free." And I'm like, "No, after 10 months of waiting every day, it could be my day,
Yeah.
And I went back to the barracks, and the guard's like, "Yeah, pack your things. You've got like half hour, pack your shit up, say goodbye to everybody, and then get out of here." And,
Cool.
And they put
Did
you on
you
a
say
bus.
goodbye to people, or did you go, fuck them, I'm out?
No, I said goodbye to everybody. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Nice
got to
people
do a
there.
victory lap.
But-
like, woo, in your face, bitches.
I'm out of here.
out.
You staying?
You staying? I'm going.
I'm going. But another interesting thing was, I was allowed to go out on a holiday because I had a visitor. I was allowed to go out for a week over Christmas.
So, wait,
Yeah.
this is before the January where
Yeah.
you were up to be released.
Right.
You were let out for a week on vacation.
Yeah,
These
on
are the
vacation.
worst prison stories ever.
Yeah,
I wanted sodomy.
Yeah,
I
you
wanted
wanted
shanking.
rape, shanking.
Doesn't it make you wonder about the locked up abroads we've been watching?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that shoe to drop. It's like,
Yeah,
and then walked in the warden.
So you're on
But-
vacation.
but no,
okay, let's
yeah.
get back to
A
this
little holiday.
terrifying prison ordeal that I've been
Horrifying.
waiting years to hear.
I'm scarred.
Now you're at the beach
Yeah,
before your release with your gal.
yeah. I'm scarred for life. You can tell.
What was your per diem?
When you go out for a holiday, the prison actually rents like a bus. Now you have to pay for it. You have to have the money to pay for it. Your seat.
Is it a two-decker with a top, no roof on the
Yeah,
upper deck?
sightseeing bus.
And imagine that one in Memphis, that one St. Patrick's Day bus with everyone painted green, big foam fingers and hats.
And downstairs is discos and stuff. All right.
Here's the great part of this. So they let me out for Christmas. I go on the bus, and there's like 30 guys on the bus. Not 5 minutes after we leave the prison, guys are pulling out blow and weed, and they're smoking up, and the bus driver doesn't give a shit, It's just like, hey, you want this? Like,
It's
okay,
like the green room at Dante's.
yeah, but better.
Yeah.
They get good shit, So I'm like, I didn't know. I don't really use
Mike.
drugs, really. So
You don't use
So here-
drugs, really?
not
That's
so much. Really.
unbelievable.
Yeah, really.
The guy doesn't even like Coke.
I don't really.
Yeah, that's
for
he's a businessman.
Yeah, business. So I'm like, these are guys who've spent the last 2-3 years in prison for having drugs, and they've just walked out of your prison with drugs. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what is this all about?
Wait, they took drugs out of they've had drugs in the prison?
Oh yeah.
So drugs were commonplace.
Commonplace. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But just the fact that they're put there for drugs, and they've walked out with drugs.
Fantastic.
Like, what
It
are
is
you?
fucking fantastic.
What is the point of this?
All right. So when you're on vacation from prison, where do you go?
Hotel,
All right.
San Paulo, just hanging out. And
Catch
then,
up on, and you had no thought of, well, I could
oh
probably.
my God, that's what everybody does. Everybody leaves. That's a normal thing you do. But my girl who was living there, I was signed out like under her name. And we weren't
right.
sure if it would cause her problems or not, so I had to go back. And I thought, well, I'm leaving in January anyway.
Chivalry.
Yeah. I only got like one
You
more
still
month
talk
to
to
do.
her?
Oh, yeah.
All right. You gonna marry her? Get her in the country?
No,
Well, we
she's-
can't say that.
She's American, so it's all
She's
right.
American.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, living down there.
Mhm.
All right. So
To
why
the
didn't you
prison.
have a fucking place to stay when you get out? She dumped you.
She didn't really want an ex-con living with her there. I don't know why.
It was no longer hot when he got out.
Yeah.
It was fun for a weekend. But yeah, not really.
That's the only way she could get on the bus.
She needed a ride.
All the good drugs.
So you have your holiday. Then you get out. They say, pack your shit. You have 30 minutes. You say goodbye to people.
Yep.
They give you a bus ticket?
No,
Nothing?
no, you got to
You
buy.
just
You
start
got to buy your
walking?
own ticket, man. Yeah.
Oh, but you had enough money to buy
I had
it.
enough money to buy
All
a
right.
ticket. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then-
So you go to Sao Paulo.
Yep. You got no money. You got nowhere to go. You're like, what the fuck am I doing now? And so I had to call up my friends who'd already left jail earlier.
All right.
You know, and so ended up at like in a hostel kind of thing, which was just like jail. The same people, like the same guys.
Same
you know,
guys.
like, only now we're on
Yeah.
the street, we have to pay for our own food. That's the only difference,
right.
you know.
And there was a long period of time between when you got out and when you got here. Because
Yeah.
you didn't have a passport.
I had to get the passport first, and then I had to be very careful about how I left Brazil. So actually, I am right now. I'm a fugitive from justice. In
Oh, you
Brazil.
can't go to World Cup.
Yeah, it's over.
Or is that Argentina?
No, it's Brazil. Yeah.
Wow, you're going to miss so many exciting scoreless games. So, how did you leave?
What I had to do is I had to leave Brazil without getting a stamp in my passports. So I had to kind of sneak out.
As we come to a conclusion,
Yeah.
fucking Portland, love it. fucking Joaquin Phoenix, fucking pushing his head into the camera that doesn't exist. Fucking photobombing a podcast.
Better than that, he asked me to take a picture of him, and I said,
Oh,
where's
okay.
the camera? And he goes, well, you'll just email it to me. You'll take it with your camera.
I love it. All right, let's wrap. We got to
Yeah,
the
it's got-
fucking peak of the mountain.
Yeah, and I had to escape to Uruguay and then fly
Wait.
back home.
Escape.
Yeah.
So you just got caught a commercial flight.
Yeah, well, I had to. Yeah. I'm an escaped convict
Yeah.
who just
Yeah.
rode a bus.
Oh,
And-
he had to escape in coach.
Yeah, in coach.
Middle seat.
Jesus.
It was the
Horrible.
horror.
I'm s-
The horror.
I'm traumatized by the whole thing. So I had to go to Uruguay, cross the border without getting a stamp, which wasn't so hard.
Now,
But-
on a flight.
But no,
On a
a
bus?
bus. Yeah.
All right.
I had to go to the border, walk over the border.
Yeah.
Kind of being quiet about it. Just kind of sneak
Got
over
down
the
on
border.
your knees, kissed Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Went, well, I'm not really home. It's Uruguay. This might be worse.
Uruguay is actually a great place. It's beautiful. But then I had to leave Uruguay without a stamp in my passport. I had this brand new passport with no stamps in it at all.
This is the most exciting part of the story.
Yeah.
Now your heart's racing.
Yeah.
I got to get out of Uruguay.
I got to get out of
without
Uruguay
a stamp.
Without a stamp. But Uruguay was really concerned about that. They're asking me questions. Well, how did you get to Uruguay? Why are you here? How long have you been here?
I was on spring break.
Yeah.
I was drunk. I woke up here. Now I'm 38 years old.
Yeah, that's happened to you, I'm sure. Yeah, so
I still have my big souvenir hurricane cup. Look.
The beautiful part was everybody in Uruguay speaks English in the airport anyway, but the immigration girl didn't speak any English at all. So I just acted like I don't speak Spanish. So I just
batted those
I don't know
fucking
what
crystal blue eyes at her.
I don't know what I was doing. I just came into Uruguay. I don't know.
I forgot.
Yeah. And I had to pay a fine, and then I flew home, and I was waiting all these years in prison. I was expecting, like, I was thinking, like, I should probably fly to Vancouver and then, like, just drive down, because I'm sure somebody's going to be waiting for me at the airport. The American government just is so scary, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be waiting for me at the airport, like DEA or somebody's
Yeah,
going to
no,
be
it's
there,
definitely
Yeah,
scarier
hey.
here than most places.
Yeah. I flew back to America into Las Vegas because I've been gone for like 9 years out of America. If I'm going back to America, I'm going to go back into the capital, first, which is Las Vegas.
Vegas.
I think we all know. Yeah. Nobody said a word. They're just like, "Oh, Christopher Kirk, welcome back." Yeah, there you go. That's it. Really?
And what's the first thing you did when you got back?
Oh man, ate. I just ate.
Tell me it was something awful like McDonald's.
No, I went to Denny's because it was the worst thing I could think of.
That's right up there.
I'm in Vegas. I'm staying at the Hooters Hotel. Like, just the most American thing. Like, just, I'm the full American.
We've stayed at the Hooters Hotel.
Yeah. It's great. It's just
Hung out with Geechee Guy. He brought us to his suite. Didn't try to do anything inappropriate.
I'm in Vegas, staying at Hooters. I want to go to Denny's. This is fucking pure America, baby. Like.
Don't know what you got till it's gone. We're glad to have you back, sir.
Thanks. Yep.
We're going to fucking
Cheers.
break, maybe get something to eat, and then we're going to talk to Binger's sister. But that'll be another episode. Thanks for listening to this untitled shit we record. Hopefully, this will be the first one we put out. Goosekirk!
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Play the Matoid!
Party time. Party time. Party time. Party time. Drink your drinks and eat your eats. It's party time. Laugh your laughs and heat your heats. It's party time. Smile your smiles and blue your blues. It's party time. Dance your dance and shoe your shoes. It's party time. Howl your howls and suck your socks. It's party time. Yeah. Oh baby, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Everybody, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. One more. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Here we go. Party time. Yeah. Party time. Party time. Yeah. Party time. 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 Hey.